We left early on August 16th, heading north towards Florence, Alabama, which is near Muscle Shoals, right on the Tennessee state line. That was day one of our first leg of this travel. We were heading north with a final destination of Kokomo, Indiana. This was day one of 3 as we traveled north. In our normal fashion, we avoided interstates and highways and just took back roads, enjoying the beautiful state of Alabama. After a restful night in Florence, we headed north towards Tennessee and hopped on one of our favorite roads, the Natchez Trace Parkway. It's a 444-mile national park service-maintained recreational road that goes from Natchez, Mississippi, all the way up to Nashville, Tennessee. Lots of wildlife on this road. It's a really great road. We only took 117 miles of it on this trip. It's beautiful, it's curvy roads, and there's no commercial vehicles allowed. There's no stoplights, and there's not even a stop sign. It's an amazing place. We stopped in Ashland City, Tennessee, right along the river. This big barge was just pulling in. We stopped and had lunch there. It was such a beautiful little place. It was a really nice stop. I normally complain that we get rain in Tennessee. Every time we go through Tennessee, we get rained on. This time it waited until just outside of Seymour, Indiana, which is where we were stopping for the night, before we ran into some storms. It wasn't too bad. Went into the hotel wet, but we've been soaked going there before. The next day was the 18th of August, and we left Seymour, Indiana, heading up around Indianapolis towards Kokomo, Indiana. That's where we were meeting everybody else for the American Legion Legacy Run. Now, the American Legion Legacy Run is a national level fundraiser where more than 300 American Legion riders from all over the U.S. and even outside of the United States. They trek over 1,000 miles to raise money for the American Legion Legacy Scholarship Fund, and it provides scholarships to children of post 9/11 fallen and disabled family members. This year we had over 360 motorcycles starting out. We left from Kokomo, Indiana, and rode towards Charlotte, North Carolina, with overnight stops in Garden City, Michigan, Kettering, Ohio, Barboursville, West Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee, and finally Concord, North Carolina, which is just outside Charlotte, which is where the American Legion National Conference is held. During the American Legion Legacy Run, each American Legion post donates money towards this event, and the riders bring the money with them and are able to give donations throughout this event. So you'll see times in these videos where there's a whole group of people standing around and they're receiving donations. And again, all of this goes towards the American Legion Legacy Scholarship Fund. Here everybody is leaving out from the American Legion in Kokomo, Indiana, which is the only one that I'm aware of that has a golf course at the American Legion. Super great. But throughout these videos, you'll see how all of these rides work, how we get from point A to point B with 360 motorcycles, all different kinds of motorcycles and different level riders as well. There are some riders who ride from beginning point A to end point B like we do, but there's some people that just join in for the day as well and just can only do one leg at a time, or for whatever reason don't ride the entire ride. So the number of 360 motorcycles fluctuates quite a bit throughout, and along with that, the different levels of riders. coolest spectacles that we have when we're on this ride is trying to get 360 motorcycles through a gas station. And we generally stop at a gas station twice a day. Those are also in conjunction with comfort stops where we can get off our motorcycles and stretch our legs a little bit. But here's a lineup as we're getting ready to go through. Hey, welcome to Ohio. Not only do we have comfort stops and fuel stops along the way, but every day they give us lunch. It's pretty cool. Here we stop at Post 300 in Napoleon, Ohio, and the reception here was pretty amazing. It's not a very big post, but boy, they pulled out all the stops for us. Again, trying to get 300 plus motorcycles all lined up so that we're not interfering with the actual flow of the city traffic. And just trying to get everybody piled in safely is just a huge task. And our advanced team for the American Legion Riders gets us in there safely every single time. So here we are going through somebody's neighborhood to circle on around and go inside and have some really good pulled pork. Part of the way this works is we have road guards. There goes one zipping by right now. So those guys stop traffic so that we can just cruise on through these cities and these towns. Here we are in a little rural area. We're single file here, where that means we are normally riding in a staggered configuration. Here we're single file so that we can let these road guards zoom on past us without them having to impede traffic going the other direction. But they stop the traffic so that we can just roll through stop signs, stop lights, things like that. It's a pretty amazing sight to see when you have 300 motorcycles just roaring through these country roads. But these guys that do the road guards are just amazing motorcyclists. To ensure the safety of the road guards, we often go from a staggered, like we are here. You'll see me here throw up a 1, and then we're going to go single file. The road captain up front is the one who gives that command, and then we all just follow suit. Go single file, that way those road guards can scoop by safely and get up to the front. Here's another fuel stop. This one I go a little bit more in detail, but we ride up there. We take over an entire gas station sometimes, which can be frustrating for cars. I get it. But we have like 6 or 8 pumps here. There's a guy standing there telling us where to go. Go to the one that's open generally. You pull up, you take off your gas cap, and you hand it to the person who's standing there. They hand you the nozzle, and you put it into your gas tank, and you top off your fuel tank. When you're done, you hand it back to them. They hand you your gas cap, you screw it on, and then you leave. It's the most efficient way to get 300 and some motorcycles through a fuel stop, and it's amazing how well it works. Our final stop today on this first day of the American Legion Legacy Run was the 30th anniversary celebration at Post 396 in Garden City, Michigan. Let me tell you what, this town of Garden City, Michigan pulled out all of the stops. You're going to see people standing on the side of the road, waving flags. The welcome was overwhelming. But the American Legion Riders actually started at this post 30 years ago. So it was kind of a really big deal for all of us to be rolling through there. But look at all these people just standing on the side of the road, waving their flags and celebrating us. It's an amazing feeling. But it was really cool to go to this post in particular because this, again, is where the American Legion Riders was started 30 years ago. Just a bunch of like-minded veterans, auxiliary members, and sons of the American Legion who wanted to get together and ride. It was really a cool event. And we also had really good pulled pork there too. Another highlight with this stop was our American Legion Post 199 out of Fairhope, Alabama, was able to give our donation of over $7,000 to the Legacy Scholarship Run that we had collected and we had fundraised. It was kind of a big deal.